What's happening?
Is there an issue?
Robert.
Is something wrong with Robert?
Is he truly my grandson?
Yes, absolutely.
Really? I wouldn't know because I hardly ever see him. Why are you keeping him away from me and the rest of the world? Your parenting methods are highly questionable.
I'm not keeping him away from anyone. Whenever we stroll around the neighborhood, I make sure he greets all our neighbors. I'm not trying to prevent you from seeing him or anything. We visited your house just 2 weeks ago.
That's not sufficient. He'll know the people in his neighborhood better than his own grandmother. You're being very inconsiderate. Consider how that looks for me.
Mom, please listen. We've discussed this before. Wanting to see your grandchild is one thing. It's entirely different to want to see your grandson to manipulate him into doing what you want. You invited him over to play but had him rearrange your living room with you. You announced to everyone he's going to Harvard. So you force him to study instead of letting him play outside. It's no wonder he doesn't want to come over that much.
What are you saying? How dare you speak to your mother-in-law that way?
Trust me, I want Robert to have a good relationship with you. But that won't happen if you keep making him do things he doesn't want to do. Because you think it's right.
Are you doubting my judgment? You're such a naive, foolish woman. I've been on this earth far longer than you have. I know what's best for him. You're really failing as a parent. I think you have a lot to fix about yourself before you can continue to raise your son.
Yeah, okay. I'll work on that.
Anyway, did the doctors give you a due date? I heard from Stephen. You're pregnant, aren't you? Why wouldn't you tell me once you found out?
Oh, sorry. Things have been pretty crazy since we found out.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. You have too many flaws to count. Make sure you fix your faults before your second child enters this world. I'll just say this once. You better have a girl. Or else.
What does that mean? I have absolutely no control over if it's a boy or a girl.
I don't want to hear that. What's going to happen if you have another inconsiderate boy like Robert? This world needs more women, not nasty boys. Also, I'll be the one to choose her name. Don't you dare try and tell me otherwise.
Excuse me? You can't be serious.
I've always wanted a little daughter of my own. It's not my fault I got a divorce before I could have one. Stephen is my only child. I guess technically you're my daughter. But I don't consider you my daughter. Let me have this one little thing. Won't you let me make my dream come true?
So basically, you're saying, shut up, I'm going to choose your daughter's name. Is that about right?
Exactly.
Wow. The parents of a child are the ones who name it.
A mother-in-law's word is final. Everyone knows a daughter-in-law must listen to anything her mother-in-law asks. I won't tolerate any backtalk. It's already decided. I'll be coming with Stephen to visit you in the hospital. And to inform the doctors of the name I've chosen. Notify me immediately once you know if you're having a boy or girl. Have I made myself clear? You're having a boy?
Yes.
I told you that I wanted you to have a girl. You're useless. I heard Stephen was so disappointed like I was.
Mom. I don't care if I have a boy or a girl. No matter which it is, I'll love them the same. I've never seen Stephen like that before. He went into a rage and was screaming at the top of his lungs.
He did that?
Yes, he did. He was screaming, "Why isn't it a girl? Do something, you pathetic excuse for a doctor." He grabbed the doctor by his jacket and screamed in his face. It took 4 nurses to get them separated. Then he directed his anger at me. He screamed at me until he lost his voice, then stormed out and went home. He went that crazy just because we aren't having a girl? He didn't listen to me at all. Maybe if you talked to him you could calm him down.
I'm not going to do that.
What?
Based on what you're saying, Stephen did nothing wrong. He feels the same way as I do. We both want a girl. I tried telling that to the doctor too, but I guess he didn't listen. I've been calling him every day.
You have? What do you think he could do?
Of course I've been calling him. What good is he if he couldn't make you have a girl? Stephen's reaction is only natural. A hospital is nothing more than a service, and we're the customers.
Are you insane? I can't believe this. Do you really think the doctor could do anything about me having a boy or a girl?
Nonsense. I did my research. Science and medicine have come a long way. Shut your mouth if you don't know what you're talking about. Ugh, another boy. Have you thought about terminating it?
Absolutely not. What's going through your head?
All right, then I guess we have no other options here. You need to give that baby a sex change.
That is the most insane sentence I've ever heard anyone say.
Why? People do it all the time. I was born a boy, but in my heart I'm a girl. Haven't you heard anyone say that? People get surgery for it all the time. We're just going to save time and do it right after he's born. Don't worry, I'll pay for it all. That's what I decided, and my word is final. Understood? Janice, are you listening?
Yeah.
I just had to go and throw up.
Don't try and fake morning sickness. You're not fooling me. Everyone knows there's no such thing as morning sickness with your second child.
It's not morning sickness. What you just said literally made my stomach turn over and made me sick.
What do you mean?
I've never heard anyone say something so horrible and disgusting as changing a baby's gender the second it's born. Aside from the fact that you've gone and decided that selfishly on your own, do you think there's any doctor on earth who would perform that surgery?
Ugh, there's another one of your flaws coming out. You have no idea what the modern world is like. I told Stephen not to marry you. I wish he would have listened. If you don't change that attitude, I'll be forced to take drastic measures.
Go ahead. I'm sick of talking to you and listening to your ridiculous and horrific demands. I'm not listening to another word.
Janice. Is everything okay?
What do you mean? Well, everything seems fine, I guess.
What's with all this stuff that just got sent to our house?
Hmm.
I don't remember sending you anything.
It's not a package. It's suitcases and boxes. It just showed up.
What do you mean?
Huh? You don't know what I'm talking about?
Not a clue. I'm working right now. What do you mean, boxes and suitcases?
A moving truck showed up and unloaded about 10 boxes and suitcases. They're labeled clothes and furniture. I opened one of the boxes, and your clothes, bags, and a bunch of other stuff were inside. It looks like it was all just thrown in. None of it is folded.
What?
Do you have any idea why all this would be sent here? Is everything going all right with Steven?
Mom. I'm going to come stay with you and Dad if that's okay. I have off the next 2 days.
Of course. No problem. I'm here if you want to talk about what's going on.
Hey, Janice. Did everything make it to your parents' house?
I knew you were behind this.
No need to repay me for the moving truck. It was my pleasure. Of course, Stephen thought it was a good idea too. We sent over the divorce papers, too. They'll probably arrive tomorrow. Be a good girl and sign them ASAP.
Divorce papers? Stephen and I haven't decided on anything regarding a divorce. That's something a husband and wife decide, not the mother-in-law.
No need to talk. Stephen's already said that's what he wants. He told me to text you because he doesn't want to talk to you.
Is that so? Isn't he concerned at all about his children?
Oh. You mean that little brat and the fetus inside you? He said you can have them. He said he doesn't need them anymore. Don't worry, he agreed to pay child support.
Ugh. Whatever. I'll sign the papers and bring them down to the courthouse tomorrow afternoon.
Would you look at that? As soon as money comes into the conversation, you agree right away. You're not even trying to hide the fact you're after his money.
I don't care about that money. My dad's right next to me and has been reading this conversation. I'm taking his advice to get rid of that pathetic husband and his wretched mother. Money is an afterthought. Plus, my dad said he'd figure something out in regards to money.
Your father said that? As in, your father, the real estate agent, said he'd take care of money? He's never given you or Stephen a cent up until now.
He said he wanted us to learn the value of $1 on our own. Before he helped us out at all. I respected his choice to not give us any handouts. We never needed any help anyway because I make a good salary at my job. But now if he helps me financially, I won't need any money from you two monsters.
Well, isn't that nice? Daddy coming in to save the day. Saving you from the evil villains you're making us out to be. That's ironic since you're the only one who's to blame for all of this. You're the one who just couldn't make my wish come true and have a girl.
I've gotta ask. Why are you so obsessed with me having a girl?
Isn't it obvious? We'd put her in lessons from a very young age. She'll learn to sing and dance and become a little superstar. Once she gets scouted and becomes famous, she'll thank me by paying for anything I want for the rest of my life. I saw something like that on the news a little while ago. If she has Stephen's genes, she'll be gorgeous. On the other hand, a boy will be completely useless to me.
Unbelievable. You only care about how to use the child for your own personal gain.
Isn't it natural for a child or grandchild to care for the people in their family? If you don't want any child support, that's fine. Don't come running back to us when Daddy runs out of money to give you.
Sure. Whatever. In return, I want you and Stephen to never contact me or my family ever again.
There's nothing I want more than to never ever see you again. We get to cut you out of our lives, and we don't need to pay you anything? What a dream! Well then, there's nothing left to discuss. Have a nice life. You worthless, pathetic woman. Why, hello Candy. It's been a while, huh? How have you been?
HM? Who is this?
What do you mean? It's me. I had the displeasure of having your daughter marry my son for a little while. It's Nancy.
Oh. I wasn't sure who it was. Because I thought my daughter very clearly told you never to speak to any of us again.
Trust me, I wish I didn't have to. But there's something I really need to talk to Janice about. For some reason, I can't get a hold of her.
Is that right? So? What could you possibly have to tell my daughter?
Well, Stephen got married last year.
I see. Congrats.
It's nothing to congratulate.
What's that supposed to mean?
His new wife is awful. She doesn't listen to anything I say. She always talks back to Stephen too. She's too abrasive and dismissive of our advice and requests.
Oh boy. Sounds like a real problem.
The worst part about it is she doesn't want to have any kids.
Well, it's becoming more and more common these days for married couples to decide not to have kids.
I don't care about other couples. Isn't it a woman's duty to listen to her mother-in-law's wishes? It's completely unacceptable. So that's what I wanted to talk to Janice about. I was wondering if Janice could take Stephen back.
Excuse me?
In a few years, I think I'm really going to slow down. I'll need someone to look after me. I don't think this new woman is going to help me at all.
So, let me get this straight. You want Janice to come back so she can take care of you when you get old and feeble?
Not just that. If she comes back, I'll forgive her for having a boy instead of a girl like I wanted. I won't say anything else about her having a girl. What do you think?
I don't even have to ask her. It's a resounding no.
What?
He's married now. What is he going to do about his new wife?
Of course, I'll have them get divorced. She's not a good fit at all in this family.
That's what I thought. I don't think there's a woman on earth that's a good match for your family.
Pardon me?
Actually, I'll put it this way. You and your son are not a good match for my daughter. There's absolutely nothing you can say or do to convince me to let Janice go back.
Is that so? Like mother, like daughter, right? You're both disrespectful. Not to mention you're both good at getting on my nerves. Fine. I'm never going to contact you ever again.
Really? That's great.
I don't need a worthless woman who can only have boys.
Oh. By the way. We named the baby Francine.
What?
Janice mentioned she'd like me to have the honor of naming the baby. It took me some time to decide, but I settled on Francine. Once she arrived, she truly looked like a Francine.
What are you saying? Hold on a second.
Yes?
Your daughter had a boy, right?
Nope. It was a girl.
What?
You didn't know?
Of course not. The doctor said it was a boy.
Oh. That's right. The initial ultrasound didn't provide a clear view. But by the third checkup, the doctor confirmed it was a girl. She's the cutest little girl ever. She strongly resembles my daughter.
I don't believe you. I know you're lying to annoy me. I might have to come over and see for myself.
Stay away from us. If you doubt me, I could send you a picture. Forget it. Not happening. We've decided to keep my daughter's identity private as a family. There are many crazy people out there, and you seem to be one of them.
Did she really have a girl?
Yes, she did. Speaking of little Francine, I need to pick her up from preschool.
Wait a second.
Okay?
Candy. Please.
What?
My life is miserable because of my son's new wife. My son doesn't do much for me anymore. There's a chance they might kick me out.
Oh.
I was hoping you could welcome me into your family. It's not fair. Why do you get to see your grandchildren every day? They're my grandchildren too.
Are you trying to be a comedian?
It's not a joke. I'm serious. Please. Try to convince Janice to change her mind.
Let me think. Absolutely not. You'll never be a part of this family, you psychopath. Haven't you forgotten what you put my daughter through?
Stop. That's in the past. Water under the bridge. I want to see my grandchildren.
You didn't care about them before. We have no obligation to let you see them.
You're such a stupid woman. You're so selfish. Keeping your grandkids all to yourself. You're horrible. How do you expect a woman like me to live on my own if they kick me out? If anything happens, it's your fault.
You'll be fine. I have a great idea.
What is it?
Get a sex change. Science and medicine have come a long way.
Shut your mouth. I'll block your number if you say stupid things like that. Candy. Are you there?
After that, my ex-mother-in-law came to my parents' house to cause a huge ruckus. We anticipated this day. That's why we moved 2 years earlier. We empathize with the new owners of that house. According to my mom's information, Stephen and his new wife indeed ended up kicking her out of their house. Now she resides on her own in a shabby, shoebox apartment, depleting her savings and lamenting her miserable life. My husband didn't choose his wife wisely. She doesn't contribute at work or around the house. In fact, she has a significant gambling habit that has financially ruined them. Moreover, she's been involved with every guy in town. My husband is working tirelessly to prevent them from falling into debt and to manage all household responsibilities. He changed his number and sent me a text saying, Please, come back to me, a plea I naturally disregarded. I would never leave the nurturing care of my two parents, who have been instrumental in helping me raise my children. Life is much more serene without those two monsters in our lives.